Imagine lounging by the pool in your bathing suit, soaking up the sun and enjoying a cold drink. Now, out of nowhere, you notice a world leader approaching you. It's none other than Vladimir Putin, accompanied by the Presidential Security Service agents. President Putin warmly shakes your hand, introduces himself, and asks if there is anything he can possibly do for you. What would you say? Now, let's transport ourselves back 2,400 years ago to ancient Greece. Meet Diogenes of Sinope, also known as Diogenes the Cynic, sitting in the morning sun, the picture of relaxation. He is elderly, barefoot, and wearing only a simple, tattered robe. The powerful Alexander the Great, Emperor of Greece, excitedly approaches the great philosopher. Alexander greets Diogenes and asks if there is any favor he might do for him. Diogenes, completely unimpressed, replies, "Yes, stand out of my sunlight." In another audacious encounter with Alexander, Diogenes inspected a pile of human bones. When asked what he was doing, he boldly remarked, "I am searching for the bones of your father but cannot distinguish them from those of a slave." Even such a blatant insult failed to dampen Alexander's fascination with the philosopher. Despite basically being insulted by a homeless man, Alexander still liked Diogenes. In fact, he quite admires him, as Alexander would say, "If I were not Alexander the First would wish to be Diogenes." But, Diogenes responded, "If I weren't Diogenes, I would too also wish to be Diogenes." This was just two instances of Diogenes' audacious behavior. He was notorious for his deliberate provocations, wit, and unconventional way of life. Refusing material wealth and comfort, he embraced extreme poverty as a virtue and lived like a beggar, challenging the societal norms of his time. Born in 404 BC, on the shores of modern-day Turkey, Diogenes was the son of a wealthy money-changer named Theseus. The exact reasons for his banishment from Sinope remain uncertain, with some suggesting he tampered with his father's coins. Regardless, the young Diogenes embarked on a journey that would forever alter the philosophical landscape. After being exiled from his hometown, Diogenes set his sights on Athens, a hub of intellectual and philosophical pursuits. Accompanied by his loyal slave Manes, he aspired to attain independence from the bonds of slavery. Thus, he posed a thought-provoking question: if Manes can live without Diogenes, why not Diogenes without Manes? Upon reaching Athens, Diogenes freed Manes, and they parted ways. Diogenes, the founder of the Cynic school of philosophy, believed that true virtue should be demonstrated through action, not just theoretical discussions. Unlike the academic philosophers of today, he didn't concern himself with abstract concepts but focused on living his philosophical ideals. While trolls and folklore are often associated with dwelling under bridges, Diogenes surpassed expectations. He took up residence in a large clay wine jar from the Temple of Cybele in Athens, embracing this minimalistic lifestyle that helped him disregard external conditions. Possessing only a robe and a single bowl, he once discarded the latter upon witnessing a peasant drinking from his own hands, realizing that he had been living in luxury. Diogenes carried a lamp during the day, puzzling those who questioned his actions. He humorously explained that he was seeking an honest man but could only find frauds and hypocrites in the daylight. He wasn't one to follow societal conventions. Some of the stories surrounding Diogenes are quite crude, including allegations of public masturbation, urinating on people who insulted him, and even defecating in a theater. These actions were seen as a form of challenging societal norms and prudishness. Even his mentor, Antisthenes, found him relentless and challenging. Diogenes' persistence led to him becoming Antisthenes' pupil, and he went on to embody the Cynic way of life, surpassing his teacher in influence and notoriety. Diogenes held no respect for authority or wealth. He openly ridiculed the rich and powerful, urging them to see beyond their material possessions and social status. He valued equality, pointing out that in death, All humans are equal, regardless of their standing in life. Diogenes' unconventional wisdom extended to his philosophical debates with the great Plato. They engaged in intellectual battles, with Plato, often immersed in the realm of ideal forms, and Diogenes, grounded in the practicality of the real world. Diogenes dismissed Plato's theory of ideal forms, asserting, "I can't imagine this true form." To drive his point home, he held up an empty cup and challenged Plato to find the form of emptiness in his mind. Their debates were not limited to abstract concepts. One day, Plato defined a human as a featherless biped. Diogenes, ever the provocateur, plucked the feathers from a chicken and presented it to Plato, proclaiming, "Behold, Plato's man." Such audacious acts further fueled the animosity between the two philosophers. Once taken prisoner by pirates, and auctioned off as a slave in Corinth, captives like Diogenes would have been put on the auction block and asked to list their skills to potential buyers. A warrior might be sold as a bodyguard or a skilled cook as a chef. When the auctioneer asked Diogenes in what he was proficient, the mischievous philosopher replied, "In ruling men." Kind of an odd thing for a slave to say, but Diogenes persisted. He spotted a rich man in the crowd named Xeniades and said, "Sell me to this man, he needs a master." Despite his eccentricities, Diogenes' impact on philosophy was profound. The Cynic school he founded influenced countless thinkers, and his legacy extended even to the Stoics, who admired his unapologetic pursuit of truth. Throughout his life, Diogenes stood unwavering in his pursuit of simplicity and truth. How he met his end remains a subject of speculation, with various theories floating around, from a fatal dog bite to poisoning by octopus, or even choosing to breathe his last. But one thing is certain: Diogenes lived to the age of 89, an impressive feat for a man living such a humble existence. Upon his death, the Corinthians honored him by erecting a statue of a dog, a symbol of Diogenes' Cynic identity. Though unconventional, Diogenes left a lasting impression on history, teaching us the value of simplicity, critical thinking, mindfulness, and humor. In a world filled with